we're going to kick off the series because Mercedes is very, very clever with how she treats her flowers, and she's worked out a way to make it really simple for us listeners to tell how to cut them and how much water to put in the vase, how to treat them. Right, over to you, Mercedes. I can't wait for the first instalment. It's all about tulips, isn't it?
Certainly tonight.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. I am here tonight to share my topic, tulip, and I want to start with the origin first because we all know it to come from Holland, but believe it or not, it comes from Turkey originally. And just like there are males and females that walk earth, when it comes to cut flowers, there are male and female cut flowers, believe it or not. And it all starts with how you cut them at the stem. So the tulip tonight that I've brought with me is a male. So when you are arranging it in a vase of water, make sure that the vase doesn't have a lot of water in it, because very much like me, when it comes to swimming in a public pool, I don't like to swim in the pool, but don't mind soaking my feet in the pool. And so are tulips. They're very similar to me. They only like to soak their feet in water. The way you cut a tulip is you've got to cut it flush. So I want you to think of a tulip as a male, and they don't wear high heels. The diagonal cut allows a lot more water to go into the stem faster than the flush cut. And I want you to think of men as a bulbous cut flower. That's how you know the difference between a male and a female cut flower. And that's because they come from a bulbous onion. So just a few cut flowers I want to share with you that are male. Tulip, hyacinths and gladioli. They're males. And when it comes to cutting their stem, you've got to cut it flush.
Yeah, can I ask a question, Mercedes?
Sure.
So basically any bulb that we put in the ground and it's going to have a flower,
Yes.
it's going to be treated as a male
As a
flower.
male.
As a male flower.
Correct.
Okay, great.
So-
So that will call freesias and
Yes.
all those? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Daffodils, yeah?
Yep. So unlike humans, cut flowers can hold their breath out of water for 15 minutes. Now what happens after 15 minutes? They all go into coma. How do we bring it out of coma? You need to recut the stem. When the stem's recut, it bleeds. When it bleeds in contact with water, it sucks. And I recommend that it drinks warm water, because warm water travels faster up the stem than room temperature water. And make sure that your water is burped. So no tap water, please, please.
Okay.
Why? Because tap water contains fluoride and chlorine. Unfortunately, we can't get the fluoride out of the water. Well, it depends on your filter, but chlorine comes out of the water after a minimum of 4 hours standing. So just like humans burp, so does water. It needs to stand for 4 hours before you use it.
All right, so you've bought the vase, bought the flower bunch from the market, say, and you're
Yeah.
going, oh, I haven't got water ready. What do I do?
Water in the kettle
Yep,
from
okay.
the night before, or filtered water.
Filtered water.
And
yep.
the best water to use for flowers is Evian water and Fiji water, because the pH, which is in between 8 and 9.5, is fantastic for flowers. They last longer.
Now, can you fake that pH with your own water by adding something like sugar or some sort of substance?
Very good question, Marianne. Look, aspirin goes a long way if you're stuck, if you can't make flower food. How do you make flower food? Well, believe it or not, you've got it in your laundry cabinet. Bleach, vinegar, white vinegar in your pantry, and sugar, white sugar in your pantry. So you need 5 litres of standing water, 4 hours, as I mentioned earlier, so it can burp. And to that, you add 25 mils of vinegar, 25 mils of bleach, and 10 teaspoons of sugar. That mix then is super for your vases or to water your floral foam in. Just like you're going to get extra kilometres out of your premium petrol, you're going to get extra kilometres out of your flower food water
Okay.
as well.
Oh, now I'm just wondering, how long will that mixture last for if I make it up?
Only 7 days.
Okay.
And the difference between flower food water and, let's say, filtered water, it is recommended that you change your water every day with filtered or kettle water. But with flower food water, you don't have to change it every day.
Okay.
You can add to it, and on the third day you can throw it out.
Okay. Great. All right. Now, just to be sure to listeners, because we're all gardeners, we mentioned as flowers as being male and female. This is just what a technique that you're thinking of, because I mean we know that all flowers have male and female parts.
Yes.
You know. So
we won't get into that with you, Marianne.
No.
No.
No. So this is just what call it a hack or a trick. To help you remember what to do with the flowers, and that's a really good tip about thinking of flowers as being male if they come from a bulb. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, look, I'm not trying to put a label on sexes here, but they say men are more ballsy than the women. So, you know, bulbs are ballsy.
Okay.
And so let's get back to the tulip. What I want to share with you is when you buy your tulips from the florist or the flower market, or let's just say you grow them in the garden, I really encourage you to grow your own, because just like organic food tastes different, when it comes to organic flowers, they last longer as well. So let's get into that frame of mind, grow your own. So you're looking at a male tulip here, and as you can see, it's in full bloom. The reason why is because that's a sign of aging. Now, if you want it to then close back up, I recommend that you put your tulips outdoors overnight. The cooler weather makes them cold and they shrivel up, and then you bring them back into the heating atmosphere that you've got at home. Now, newborns, you burp them after a feed. We all know that as parents and grandparents and even aunts. Same thing with tulips, but we don't burp them after a feed, we burp them before a feed. So how do you burp a tulip? Well, because it's a male, it's got an Adam's apple. So we're piercing the Adam's apple, which is right under the head of the bloom tulip. So I'm using a pin there. So I've just gone through the stem. So that's the Adam's apple in the throat. Just taken the pin out, and then we're going to be
stabbing it, really?
Yeah, well, you're not committing a crime here, Marianne, but that's the belly button.
Okay.
Okay, and then the knees. So what this technique does is that it makes it burp. And when it burps, it comes up more stronger in the stem. You can feel the stiffness automatically. And then you're cutting the stem flush, because men don't wear high heels.
Yes.
You just cut that like that. And then I'll just remove that, because no hairy legs in the water.
Yep.
Because bacteria breeds on leaves, and we don't want a cocktail in the water of bacteria. And this is how you enjoy your tulips.
Wow.
Shallow water. And tulips, for the listeners out there that want to enjoy them at home or at work, the message that they come with is that if you've got any disruptions in your life or someone that really annoys you, this is the kind of flower to have at home or in your workplace, because it helps you release anger.
Somehow it sends out vibes, or by just looking at the flower you get this feeling of peace and, oh, I'm not angry anymore.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because, you know, just like music and temperature and fragrance manipulates your mood, so do cut flowers.
Wow.
Every single one of them has a vibration.
Yep.
And a message.
All right. Well, that's a fantastic information, and I was speaking to Mercedes Samini, who's Flowers by Mercedes. That's your business. So wonderful. Thank you for coming in and talking to Real Well Gardener.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me, Marianne.
You're welcome.